Hey YouTube, it is SoulPrime13 with another Transformers video review. This time we're going to be looking at the Fractured Friendship Security Officer Orion Pax, otherwise known as Coptimus. Overall, I definitely enjoy this figure. I already really liked the Gamer Edition mold, so and this guy definitely has some improvements over that. And I'm happy to finally have a official IDW coptimus. Let's see. Take a close-up in here. It's got some blue for the window bits. Definitely like his head sculpt. It's a little more traditional looking, but it's nice. Got some silver there on the faceplate and on the earpieces. Got some silver for the smokestack bits. Got some yellow on the crotch piece. Silver for the leg vents. He does still have a bit of a kibbly back, but you know, it's not horrendous. Got more of that window blue. Some silver for the bumper. Silver's on the tires and all that good stuff. He does have his wrist mounted blasters, which are blast compatible. So there is that. The nubs are a little short, so they probably will fall off easily, but you know, they do fit. The blasters do come off. They are packaged separately, and they can fit into his hand if you so choose. You do have to take them off for transformation due to the way his arms fold up underneath. There isn't enough space. You do have to parts form these. It's not a huge deal. They just plug onto the side of his legs in vehicle mode, but I do like that he has some wrist blasters. Those are always cool. I do like the whole idea of, you know, them having their weapons built in. Speaking of which, he does come with the blaster. This time it has an extra piece added on to give it a proper handle. This is screwed in, so not gonna come off easy. I don't really know how difficult it would be to take it off, but from what I understand, most people wanted something like this in the first place and probably aren't going to take it off. I think it's fine. And of course, it fits in his hand. And it is also blast compatible. So you can have him shooting away, bumping the camera, shooting away at the Decepticons, getting some of that Daka Daka action in there. There is that. Let's see, is there anything else? Oh, yes. He does still have the removable arm from the original, and you can still plug this into his booty just to keep that arm safe. You can have a booty blaster. And if you have the original War for Cybertron, you can give him the arm gun thing if you so choose, which is something I do enjoy, but I know a lot of people weren't huge fans of this, but you know, to each their own. But that is something you can do if you want to. There we go. And since we already have him over here, we'll do some size comparisons, starting with the War for Cybertron version. And you can see he is a decent chunk taller. That's a good part of that is due to his feet, because they have these new platforms on the bottoms of his feet, which are used to cover up the back of the vehicle, which is one of those big improvements people were happy to see. So there is that. Here he is with the Amazon 2-pack Orion packs, so you get an idea of what he looks like. And just for the sake of comparison, here he is with the Mastermind Creations version of this character. And just one more quick one. Here is the Ares oversized version of that Mastermind Creations mold, just to give you some variety. Alright, now let's talk about his articulation. Actually, before we talk about that, I should mention that he does have the opening matrix compartment, and the matrix does come out, and it is more akin to the matrix design we saw in the video game, but obviously it is much smaller and he cannot hold it, unfortunately. But that is there, similar to the one on the War for Cybertron version. Now, on to articulation. So for his wrists, he has full 360 wrist rotation. He does have more than 90 degrees at the elbow. He does have bicep rotation. Shoulders can do a full 360 degrees and go straight out, and actually pretty far up. His head is on a ball joint, full 360, and you get a decent amount of wiggle waggle movement there. His arms, they do move in and out a teeny tiny bit. And you know, you could theoretically do something like this if you want. Those are more transformation joints than anything, but hey, it's there. 360 at the waist, full forward kick, and not really any backward kick. The little waist piece here gets in the way. So yeah, that's as far back as that'll go. 90 degrees at the knee. He can do the full splits. He does have quite a bit of ankle tilt, so you can have him doing the super wacky X pose. And this time it actually has the arms going up enough to actually look like an X. What do you know? And there is some up and down on the toe, so there is that as well. I guess technically these smokestacks do move, although it's really just more of a clearance movement. But you know, hey, if you want to do something with that, you can. But there is his articulation. So I guess next we should move on to transformation. Yeah, so first we are going to have to pop the wrist cannons off and put them off to the side. Pop that off, put it off to the side. Then we're going to take those big shoulder sections and pull them out. Come to the back, bring the cab top windshield down and fold out this bumper piece. Rotate that 180 to face up. Then we're going to take this section and slide it back. And then we're going to rotate these arm sections forward like so. So that looks like that. Come back to the legs. Going to untab these panels from the side. Rotate the waist 180. Then we're going to lift up these panels and rotate the feet in and unpeg the bottom of the feet like so, and then push these into place. One issue I do have with all versions of this mold that I have had, well, I guess that's just two, but When you try and bring these back down, a lot of times, because they do sort of clip into place, there's actually a little nub right in here. A lot of times it holds too securely and you end up popping the entire foot off. It is just on a friction joint, but it is kind of a hassle that it will more often pop off than move like it's supposed to. So that's kind of a couple points against it. But yeah, just make sure those are in place. Bring these down. We're not going to completely close that off yet, but we're going to bring his legs together. And then, so the feet do have a sliding notch tab, and there is another one right here to bring it all together. I'm going to flip the wheels out now, and we're going to lift these up slightly for that clearance, bring it more forward. We're going to come back around and bring the arms down and underneath the whole cab section like so. Bring this down and underneath like so. Then we're going to bring these sections back together. Well, actually, we'll bring this down over this and then bring it together. And there are a couple tabs that will plug into the sides of the bumper like so. And that is your cab section done. So now we can bring these panels forward and come back under, and there are two little tabs on the arms that will plug into the side of the wheel. It's right next to that hinge joint. It's kind of hard to see even for me because it's kind of dark in there, but now that we have those popping out of place, there we go. We can bring these the rest of the way down and they will slide over the top of the fists. Then we can bring these and tab them together. And then bring them the rest of the way down and those will tab into place. Then we want to slide this section into this opening right here. Then bring that smokestack back down. Slide that into place, bring that back down. This popped out of place again. There we go. There we go. Is everything together? Looks like it. Are we done? Looks like we're done. Alright, there is the vehicle mode, and he is very much a red and blue brick, but he is a sexy red and blue brick if I ever darn saw one. He does roll pretty. Yeah, I think the arms are sticking out a little bit. Yeah, there we go. He does roll as rolling things should. Again, you can take the cannons and they will plug right here like so and like so. So now he has those, and the main blaster will plug in. These right here will plug in to the feet like so. So now you have him all decked out and ready to hunt down some bad guys. But yeah, overall I really do like the overall execution of this. It is a very interesting vehicle, and I feel like it does work really well as a Cybertronian truck without, you know, because I remember, I think it was one of the War for Cybertron ones. I can't remember if it was Siege or Kingdom, but they did a Cybertronian Optimus Prime, which was basically just a regular Earth truck with some extra bits on the top and the sides. I feel like this works better because it still feels like a truck for the most part, but it definitely doesn't look like something you'd see out on the street. You know, it doesn't look like a custom truck. You know, it does feel a bit more alien. And while it is definitely a simpler design, I think it's a good design. So I really do enjoy this. And of course, you know, having the back covered up so his hands aren't just hanging out there is a huge plus. Yeah, I really like what they did with this mold. So there is that. And let's do a few more comparisons here. Okay, for comparison, here he is with his boxmate, the Gladiator / Miner Megatron. Get an idea of how they look together. Here he is with the Amazon security Orion packs. Obviously a very different take on the vehicle modes, and you know, one's a Voyager, one's a Deluxe, so. And finally, last look at the original version of the mold. And you can see how they stack up. I do believe that the new one is also a tiny bit longer. Yeah, he's a tiny bit shorter, actually, it looks. And you can see there's a very big contrast in the colors. The red and blue are definitely brighter on this version. The red less so, or more so brighter than the blue. The blues are both still pretty dark. But yeah, overall there is that. And again, mine does have the DNA upgrade kit to cover the back. But overall, they're both still really good molds. I definitely enjoy both of them. One thing I feel I should mention is that the arms do plug in differently to the bottom, because on this one they sort of plug together and latch onto the bottom side of the legs, whereas this one, as I mentioned, plugs into the wheels. So just something to keep in mind. But yeah, overall, very fun figure. I'm really glad I was able to get one, and I definitely enjoy both of these. I am sort of hopeful that they'll release this guy on his own later on, just for people who might only be willing to get this and they don't want another Megatron. I don't know if that will happen or not, and that's one of the main reasons I didn't decide to wait and see. I am a huge Optimus Prime fan, if my username didn't give that away. So I didn't want to risk losing out on this guy, and I can definitely say, for all the ifs, ands, and buts about the whole situation, I do not regret buying him one little bit. I definitely have to give this guy a good rating. I feel like some people might be a little disappointed with the brick of the vehicle mode. You know, maybe the fact that he parts forms might be a minor gripe for some people. I think that that's no big deal. I actually like the bricky vehicle mode. He feels very chunky for a Voyager. Heck, he feels better than some of the leader classes we've been getting lately. So I'm gonna have to give him an 8.5 out of 10. That is my rating for him. So that is my review of the Fractured Friendship 2-pack Security Officer Orion Packs Optimus Prime.